Hey, my name is Galen. I use they, he pronouns, and I identify as a trans, masculine, non-binary person.
What does being transgender mean to you?
Being trans means, to me, just like having deciphered all of the boxes that I kind of got put into from birth and going through all of the things, figuring out that I don't want any of those things, and then going on a journey of figuring out like what I do want and how to make myself, my spirit, my body, everything align with like who I actually feel like I am. Being trans is just a journey.
Are there different transgender identities?
So trans masculine, we could have trans feminine, we could have people who are very much trying to fit into the binary again, so trans men, trans women. People are non-binary, but there's also like gender fluid, gender queer. I feel like there's a lot of words that are kind of similar, like almost like bisexual and pansexual,
Sure, yeah.
But certain people just have an innate feeling that they connect with that specific word more.
What are some ways that transgender folks might choose to have sex?
Yeah, there's so many different ways, and like so many people are like comfortable with one thing and not another thing. You can never really know like, you know, what someone's genitals are gonna look like, and they might look, you know, different than a cisgendered person's because of hormones, or they might work differently because of hormones or surgeries. So it's good to like really be communicative there too with like what feels good, and also what the person wants to call their genitals regardless of what they look like.
Yeah.
Obviously it's really good for any person who's about to be sexually intimate with someone to have conversations beforehand, during, after, but like for trans people it's necessary for us to get there with someone.
What are some ways that transgender folks might practice safer sex?
Definitely using protection. You can talk to your, you know, potential partners about when the last time that they've been tested was.
For STIs?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for STIs, and maybe you can go get tested together, or yeah. I'm a trans masculine person who generally sleeps with like hyper feminine people, but if I was gonna sleep with a person who had a penis, like I could still get pregnant. So just because I'm on hormones, maybe like even if my period stops, which it hasn't, but it could, like I could still get pregnant if I sleep with someone who has a penis. So I think it's important to remember like just the physical aspects of your genitals, even aside from hormones and everything, that like you have to be cautious about that stuff.
What is something you wish the world knew about being transgender?
For me anyways, like again, I can't really speak for everyone, but like my trans identity is not this like all-encompassing being of like who I am. I don't like want people to look at me and be like, oh, that's Galen, they're trans, and they do this, that, and the other thing. I'd rather someone look at me and be like, oh, that's Galen, you know, they're a barber, they're an artist, they're a kind human, they're like very loving, this, that, and the other thing. Oh, and then they're trans.